What's up, party people? Check, check. Mic check. My name's Chris, and I'm a bookaholic. Hey, here's the scoop. I actually, two things. One, I got a new phone. Supposed to have a better camera. We shall see. Because actually we will see since it's a camera. But the problem is my microphone, I don't have the proper connection port. So I'm hoping that the audio is going to be okay. I have this gem, but the problem is every time Apple puts out a new product, they got to mess around with all the ports. And this is an adapter for that, and now I need a different adapter. It's ridiculous, you know? I mean, I get you're, doing as many cash grab things as you can, but Apple, the whole idea of them changing their port every freaking half a year, it just drives me up a wall. I know that's an exaggeration, but I'm mad. Whew. I wanted to talk to you today about a couple books I've been reading. I've been reading, and but let's address the elephant in the room. And I got haircuts, all of them cut. All my hair is cut. I went to a barber, like a barber shop in downtown Florence, South Carolina, and let me just say, and this is just basic observation, that I'm probably not the regular clientele for this barbershop, okay? If you think of a stereotypical Southern barbershop, that's where I was at, all right? And my barber, I don't know that he'd cut a lot of hair like mine. So I gave him a good idea, and he did a pretty good job, all things considered. Then he says, "Do you want me to trim your beard?" And to which I knew everybody who's ever watched the video that I do, all 10 of you, and my family and friends have been mocking my beard and mustache forever. I get it. It is mockable. But it's been 50 years in the making, okay? So I said, sure, a little trim, because I would always have that one that was just, hey, we going places, and then that, like this side was growing longer than the other. Then I had, whatever the attempt was on the side. I mean, I look like I have mange. I think we can be honest. And so he trimmed like he was employed by, whatever, Toro lawnmowers. I mean, this guy, he was trained by Husqvarna clientele. I mean, this guy, he went after it. And at that, after he does the initial swipe and you realize, oh, I'm pretty sure all my mustache just came off. It's not like you can say, hey, yo, let's not do that. Because at that point, in for a penny, in for a pound. I mean, it's over, is what I'm saying. So I came back, much to the delight of my family. Anyway, can I just talk about a book I'm probably about a quarter of the way through? It's The Fangs of Freelance, okay, by Drew Hayes. And honestly, this is the fourth in the series, okay, Fred the Vampire Accountant. I can't love these enough. I mean, I'm hesitant to hurry up and plow through the other four because they're done. I'm done then, Maybe he'll bless us with another, I don't know. But I'm about halfway through this series and loving every minute of it. And you're like, Chris, that sounds stupid. I know it kind of sounds like it might be stupid, but I think that Hayes is a phenomenal writer. And actually, this to me, I know it sounds crazy, but what I like about Jim Butcher's The Dresden Files is that every kind of edition, it's a little bit more, a deeper dive. You get to know kind of the surrounding world. You get to understand, a little bit more about the various vampires and the Fey dimensions and the kind of the battles between all of these different, supernatural type of creatures. and you have, and the inclusion, of course, with angels and all that good stuff. I love it. I mean, I love the way that Jim Butcher has built that series. And in a lot of ways, this scratches that itch for me, because every time I read a new kind of part of the, Fred the Vampire Accountant, I just feel like I'm being introduced more to this world that is even, more awesome than before. And I like the way this guy's brain works. So anyhow, that's one. The other day, I snagged this at a thrift store. I love my thrift stores. And this is William Gibson. And look at that. He's like, what's up, yo? Hi. Kind of looks a little Lyle Lovett-ish right there. But Gibson, he's of course, pretty much a classic in the science fiction, community. And boy, he's cranking out some great books, and some that have been made into, adaptations of television. And Neuromancer, Count Zero, Burning Chrome, Mona Lisa Overdrive, Virtual Light, Adoru. I don't think there's anything necessarily special about this book. I'm in the sense that I don't even know if it's a first edition. It might be, but I have not read William Gibson yet. But my intention is to dive into his stuff. I kind of think I'd like him based on a few of the things that I've seen. The only reason I'm bringing this up is I snagged this, and I probably won't get to it right away, but I have to say I really like John le Carre, and he has recently passed away. I don't think I had this book. I have all of his stuff right up there, and this to me was kind of a nice find. I don't even think it's been opened yet, and it's I'm pretty sure it's a first edition. It's a gorgeous hardcover, and he's kind of an interesting character to me, because he had his foot into that world of espionage. I mean, he knew what he was talking about. So there is something fascinating to me about him. I did read the last book that was published. Oh boy, it was called Silverview. Right. I think they found it after his passing, or around that time, and I really enjoyed it. It was a small, brief, and it was a good story. It was really enjoyable. Now, my family, some of my family members have read all of le Carre's work, and I can see why. He's not trying to give you the hurry up, fast, quick adrenaline rush that we kind of come to expect and want in our thrillers. And he's not like the roided up Reacher that you can see when you watch the TV show. I mean, he gives you characters that you can almost see, yourself in at times even. And I like his stuff. So I hope to read a lot more of his work in the future, especially knowing that canon of work of his is complete. Although that being said, it is quite the habit now for the literary publishing world to continue series from authors by various contributing authors. So, for example, Vince Flynn was one of those characters. He passed away, I believe, of cancer, yet they're continuing his series. And, of course, Tom Clancy had passed away forever ago, and they keep putting out a book of his, a couple times a year. Of course, people like Dick Francis, he wrote all these mysteries in the horse racing world. He used to be a jockey for the Queen. Now his son Felix has taken the reins, pun intended, and is continuing those series. And I believe even Tony Hillerman's daughter is writing now in that same world. And also people like, I think, Clive Cussler, although I can't remember if he's passed yet. So anyway, I'm fascinated a little bit with these kind of authors who have created these worlds and these, characters that people love so much that they're hungry for more. It doesn't matter. Like, let's just have more of it. Think of Robert Ludlum and the Bourne supremacy and the way that the Bourne character has continued even. All right. So I've digressed, obviously. I wanted to draw your attention to a author that I met a number of years ago, Boise. I was in Idaho, and he teaches there at a Catholic school part-time, or maybe it's full-time now. I'm not sure. Anyway, he wrote this book called Let the Wild Grasses Grow, and my intention is to actually read this coming year. I wanted to last year, but I've kind of been holding off a little bit. What's fascinating is that when I met him, we were discussing an author that I've read everything but one of his books. It's a guy named Kent Haruf, and he passed away. Kent did, and I've hesitated. I think there's something inside of me that's been opposed to finishing that last book, because I don't want it to end. I mean, I know I can reread the books, and I'm sure I will, but there's something about, that first time when you read a book. And so this guy and I were talking, and he goes, I wouldn't normally, toot my own horn, so to speak, but he shared with me a quote from a review, and in essence, what it said was that Case Johnston is basically the next Kent Haruf. Beautiful and expansive in Johnston's Let the Wild Grasses Grow, Colorado has a successor to Kent Haruf. And I have to be honest, like, when I just was so kind of blown away by that. First of all, I don't hear a lot of people talk about Kent's works. He seems to have been quite popular, but it's been a while. And so that he's been compared to that author, whom I find to be one of the greats, I just knew I was going to love his stuff. So I'm really kind of excited about diving into that. And, usually I'll take a good break from my mystery and fantasy and science fiction and try to jump into something that's like a good, Midwestern kind of dive into a small town family dynamic. And I think I'm going to get that with his work. Anyway, really just wanted to say hi, show you the new hairdo, and really just let you know I'm reading a lot. Let me just kind of make mention to a couple that I have been reading and hope to finish up pretty soon. My intention is to hopefully finish this before year's end. I've been slowly just kind of taking little bite sizes pieces from Pratchett's Guards. I don't know why this is taking me a while, but I think part of it is that he doesn't break it up into chapters, and I have such a mental kind of almost need for chapters, because it gives me a place like I know I'm going to finish this chapter, but there isn't anything like that. So I've found myself almost just doing little paragraphs, which is stupid and horrible, and every time I'm reading this, I'm loving it, and I'm a big fan of his anyways, so what am I doing? But I'm hoping to get this done here in the next week or two. I'm finishing this, Teachings for an Unbelieving World. This is some kind of found documents by Karol Wojtyła, obviously St. John Paul II at that. And what I love about this book is that this is kind of a treatment of Nostra Aetate, which is a document from Vatican II dealing with interreligious dialogue. And I use that a lot in the courses that I teach, and I talk about that and utilize that in my public speaking things. So when I found this, I just have been really just taking little bits, and usually on a Sunday I'll grab a little chapter or two, and I've loved it. It's been phenomenal. I probably will have this finished here in the next couple of weeks. It's kind of my little, meditation stuff. And surprise, I started this, the Wickwire Watch, and I knew a lot of people already loved this book and were singing its praises. And honestly, I thought, am I going to do it? Am I going to start another book that, I'm probably not going to finish this year? But I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, it's kind of got this odd, almost Dickensian, I don't know if I'd use steampunk, but you're placed in this time period that you almost feel like, Oliver Twist is going to, show up, or some of the other Dickens characters. And I kind of like that. It's a little familiar to me anyways, that world. So, and it has enough mystery and intrigue. And I'm in the zone with it. So we'll hopefully get that finished up and singing its praises soon. And last last but certainly not least, I'm so flippin' pumped. Massive shout out to Mr. JCM Byrne. I'm already reading this and I love this. And actually, I kind of decided to hold off because I knew that little in-hand hardcover was coming, and it looks so gorgeous with all of my others on the shelf. Just a special thanks to the man, the myth, the legend. Anyway, I'm all current, and I'm in the zone with this one, and hopefully we'll have this done soon. We shall see. And anyway, I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for tuning in. I love this stuff, and I hope you do too.